Morning, everybody. There's Effie. Hi, Effie. It's good to see you. And you're Shore with us. Hi, Shore. Good to see you too. We want to say hi to our YouTube audience and thank you for joining us in the sacred energy of Circle today. And today you're going to be able to watch our evidential mediums as they connect with people who have crossed over to the other side and deliver messages from those people. And our hope is that by watching our mediums at work, you'll come to understand that the loved ones that you may have lost aren't lost at all. They're still with you. So please join us as we open with a prayer. Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Please help us to open all of our senses, physical and spiritual, so that we can receive your messages without interference from our own minds. We humbly ask that you make this circle an uplifting and joyous experience for everyone in attendance. Please ask the spirits who recognize the voices in this room to join us this morning so that we will know that they watch over us, love us, and protect us still. And please allow us to deliver the information presented by Spirit with grace and compassion, in complete trust and respect of your infinite wisdom. Amen. All right, and we got 3 people, so how about if I'll set a timer up for 11 minutes and then if need be, we'll extend it, but that's roughly where we can go. And whenever anybody gets a link, just hop on in there.
Yeah, I can start us off.
Thank you, Shore.
I feel I have grandma here. She feels more on the maternal side, and she lived a fuller life. Because I'm seeing her in her old age with white hair. She's not too tall, but respectable, of course. I want to place her 5'3", 5'4". You could not ask for any better grandma than this one. Very gentle soul, very loving, and no complaining. Always helpful. What you need, you get it from her. I don't feel grandpa was around close to the end of this grandma. And I feel you would have witnessed her passing. It just feels like you're there, almost there. And you were small, you were really tiny, but you have good memories, good deep memories, and I feel you felt a tremendous loss, and you cried and cried and cried. So who can understand this, Grandma? Ah, Carol.
I am listening, sure.
Okay. Just couple items that you resonate very strongly with, if you could.
I was around when she crossed. Grandpa was not around, and she literally would do everything and anything for anybody.
Okay, great. Yeah, she had no regrets. She would have let everybody know of that. And she was not afraid of dying. And she was a little bit on the funny side too. Uh,
Mhm.
I feel like saying like I'm up to grandpa.
What about that? I'm sorry.
Like she would have said that I'm ready to go to grandpa.
Oh, okay. All
Yeah.
right.
So she
Makes
was not
sense.
afraid of dying, and she was just so relaxed about that topic. This is a little unusual. It's not a whole lot of time spent with you around bicycling.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
She would
Yeah.
have taught you it in a way. It's generally, it's yeah, this is a little unusual. Generally, dad would be involved in that, but in this case, it feels like she had a small role as well. Not a whole lot of time, but she would have kind of hold on to your uh, cycle seat and let you go, let you fly.
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of feel that she wouldn't have called you by your name. It's more of another endearing term like kiddo or something that
Hmm.
she would have used.
Yeah.
You know, it just feels like echoing in your mind too. Kiddo, kiddo, kiddo. Hmm. Yeah, of course, her passing left a big hole that some that's still kind of not filled. Um, it can never be filled. Everybody still feels this loss, this void. Yeah, chores. I feel I'm very handy with, and not only cooking, but there's hmm, like I want to iron your clothes too. Yeah, yeah, young girl clothes. Your clothes. You were tiny.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she took all the pleasure. And your mom let her do show express the love that the grandma the way grandma wanted to. She never interfered. She loved it. Grandma was just happy that she got this freedom. This freedom. I feel she would have shown a lot more love than your own parents.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, there's
probably. Yeah, I get
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Mm. Yeah, it feels like yeah, I'm there. whenever you needed, you fell from your bike, she would be ready to mend put on the band-aid that you needed. Um, it feels like she's there almost all the time.
Yeah.
But exactly when you needed, she was there. And it feels like there's a small box of her possessions. It's just simple things. It just feels like maybe a set of clothes. Uh, yeah, would you understand this box that uh, ha has her belongings?
Yes.
Okay. And so I want to say clothes. Some
Not close.
items of
No.
clothes,
No, no
because
close.
it's a tiny, it's like a dark box. Okay. Yeah, you gotta open it sometimes too. Don't let it just sit there underneath all the other stuff. Mm, because there are items from your childhood time. Mm. Okay, all right. Let's see. Message. The life was complicated. It just feels like there's a lot of haphazard memories or the images that people carry around her life, especially close to the end. But when somebody looks into every piece of that, let's say puzzle of her life, you feel the joy, the humor. I don't know. The humor is coming when you look in detail about the later part of her life. Every bit of information that you see around her gives you pleasure because it also provides you more details about her mindset, the humor, the way one should live one's life uh, without any regrets, with love, because that's all that's going to carry you through to the other side and keep you in the memories of each and every one you loved. So I'm gonna stop here, leave you with her love and blessings.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. That was fabulous. So this is I have one grandmother who comes in all the time, and I have another one who rarely comes in, and this was this one, but this is her, and I
Wow.
keep her picture right here, on my desk, my dear grandma. But one of my grandmothers lived in a foreign country and one did not, and this was the one who actually lived in the United States with us. And like you said, she was there all the time, very involved in my life. But she crossed over when I was very young, so I don't have a lot of time spent with her as much as I do with the other grandmother. Actually, I don't have a lot of time with either of them. I kind of feel cheated about that, to tell you the truth. Um, but I'm trying to see. Okay, Grandpa was not around. Um, but what was funny about that is that you said that she was handy, which was a really unique piece of evidence because she was widowed. Okay, so she lived alone, and she had a little pink toolbox, and she would fix everything around her house. Which is just an insane piece of information. I thought that was funny. And, calling me by the nickname, that was true. I'm not going to tell you what it is, lest it come in on another one, another reading. But, and then the other thing that you said that I thought was so interesting was you said she was not afraid of death. Okay. And for the benefit of our YouTube audience, a statement like that is not something that like is necessarily verifiable. Okay. And I would not be able to verify that. I wouldn't even have thought about it because I was a little kid when she crossed over, and little kids don't think like that. Okay. And so I personally love it when spirit comes in with information like that because I think that's a reassurance for me. Okay. Even though I can't necessarily say 100% sure you're right about that. It sure made me feel a lot better to know that. Okay. And so, sure, I'm going to kick that back to you and ask you, okay, how common is it in your readings to get evidence like that, that a sitter can specifically say yes or no? What are your thoughts about pulling in that kind of information in your readings?
Yeah, they come not only just for evidence,
Mhm.
for validating the evidence, but also provide you some information that you didn't know, because they also want you to know what they were like. So yeah, the information does not necessarily mean to be validated, but just for your information, just to let you know how they were, and draw some um, draw something from their essence, bring that to your life, and live the life the way you want it. But providing additional information is useful. It's good to know. And sometimes people get the same person coming from the other side a lot of time, and you could actually build up their life story that you didn't never knew of from the evidences that came through, the information, the statements that came through. So you can actually learn a lot about their lives. So overall, they just want you to know how they lived, and if you find that useful, you could apply that kind of information. Uh, just live the life if you like the way they lived, or just bring in some elements of that to your life to fulfill yourself. Because your grandma said clearly she was not afraid. Um, so it all kind of resonates with what we are doing here, not to worry about passing, because you are joining your loved ones on the other side. So, so it's all good information.
I was thinking about it, and I know that like some there are sitters out there who have the expectation that, you know, well, you should give me, you know, her birth date, the way that she passed, okay, and all of this stuff, and there are specific facts that the sitter is looking for. And I'll just tell you that the reading you just gave me was enthralling to me. It was, and specifically because you reminded me, first of all, of so many little points that I had not even remembered. First of all, her being handy, that was hilarious. And then, second of all, teaching me how to bicycle. Okay. Because, yes, she did. And normally that's the father's job. Okay. But, she actually kind of like co-engineered that. So, so that was fabulous. So,
Thank you.
well, what's your take on that, Effie? How do you feel about readings like that?
Great. So thanks, Short, for your reading.
Mhm.
Spirit's only going to give you what Carol will know. So
Mhm.
if the sitter is expecting to birth specific memories or birthdays or her name, that means we're controlling the reading, which in us as mediums, we need to be surrendering and allowing the spirit communicator what they want to say when they come in. A key piece of evidence I noticed was when not a lot of memories, and Carol was very young when she passed. So
Mhm.
there were some similarities to my grandmother, but Carol could understand more of it because my grandparents did not pass when I was very young. Carol's did. And this grandmother had a certain um, effect in her life when she was younger, the memories. What I felt was the love. The bicycle was also a key piece, and her being very, very handy. So Spirit's only going to give you what Carol knows, no more, no less. So if Carol has limited memories, but she's still very young and remembers certain pieces, that's exactly how the reading went. And you absolutely displayed what the Spirit wanted to say to Carol. It's the love, the family, um, being around her, and how does Carol feel with this grandmother? She doesn't come in very, very often, which was so precious that
Mhm.
she got to experience her today, and she has her picture.
Mhm.
She has her picture right beside her.
Sure do. Next to my heart. Oh,
So
and it was
yeah,
great.
we don't
Yeah.
control the reading. We're control as mediums. If we ask them to put something in our hand, that's controlling. If we're asking for certain specific pieces, what is your name? We're controlling. We're not in charge. We're just the conduits.
Well, and I'm glad you brought that up, Effie, because I feel the same way, and it interests me sometimes because there are sitters out there who think you're a bad medium because you didn't bring in this information, that information, whatever. But my perspective is if I was in the spirit world and I had somebody I loved sitting in that sitter's chair, okay, and I was able to communicate with them, I'd have so much that I would want to say to them, and it would annoy me to death if I had a medium shouting at me, "Shut up, I'm not going to let you talk. How did you die?" Okay, that would annoy me no end, and I would never, ever work with that medium again. That's just my thought, but I personally think that we agree with Effie. We need to get out of the way and we need to respect what it is that the spirit wants to say to the sitter, which may not necessarily
We
be
have
what the
no
sitter
idea
wants,
what
but
it is. So,
but
and how many times have we been shocked what comes out of our mouths?
oh yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
What we say. So yeah, it's I love that you said that, Carol, because that's how I look at it when I'm developing. I'm hoping that when I pass, knock on wood, and I left a loved one in a place that I wasn't the most comfortable with, and let's say it was an argument I had with my daughter, and we said some things we didn't want to say to each other, and then the next day, knock on wood, I pass away. I know my daughter's going to be feeling that last piece of conversation was how we left, and I know the entire next, maybe to the day that she passes, how she's going to feel inside. So I'm hoping that the medium is refined, developed, attuned enough to allow me to say what I want to say to my daughter when I come in.
Mhm. Absolutely. And I have seen those situations, actually twice, both with parents who did not agree with children's lifestyles. Okay. And then the children, crossed over, and that was devastating for the parents because the last conversation between them was not a nice one, you know. So,
Maybe say, never go to bed angry.
oh yeah.
That's that saying.
Absolutely.
And thank you,
Absolutely.
sure.
Yeah, that was fabulous. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, all right. You feeling it, Effie?
No, but as we
Okay.
know,
Go ahead. Give it a
whatever
shot
happens,
anyway.
right, just start talking. So
Uh-huh.
thank you, sure. That was a lovely reading. I do. It's a grandmother day today because I do have a grandmother as stepping in, and I do feel connected to you, Carol. And I'm drawn to you with a grandmother that's coming on the father's side that's here. And just transparency for the audience, Carol, I know quite a bit about you
Hmm.
because we have worked often, and I know also Canada is a big part of your life because that's where I live.
Hmm.
So as this grandmother comes in, there is you talked about to piggyback on a little bit on Shore's reading about bicycle riding, how you used to love to ride your bicycle and you used to go around the blocks, and this was your favorite time of year as this grandmother comes in. But also they this as this grandmother just is going to be with me. There is another man that is stepping forward when he's here, and it takes me to geez, a little bit of a touchy, a sensitive reading. I want to say there is a in your family a child talking about children. Thank you. There's a child that had passed around your loved ones as a baby, going back. When I'm here, I'm going to say this is dad. Um, no, actually, Carol, this is you. I'm going to retrace this, reset this reading. As a baby, as a little girl, you would have saw spirit. You would have sensed them around you when you were. Would you understand this? This is you.
Yeah. Hmm.
And you would have been, and your dad and you would have had a close relationship, Carol, when
Hmm.
you were younger, as your dad steps forward when he's here. There's also another man stepping up forward with the name of James. Carol?
James?
James,
James?
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I understand
yeah.
James.
Right. And this is not your father, but this is another man. So there's two spirits I have with your grandmother helping me bring them in. And
Oh.
as your father steps forward in this close relationship, he is a man that was an attractive man. He has a lot of pride, but there is such a sense of this way where when he left the house, you were so connected to him. So there's a bond that you had with your dad since day one when you were born. It was you and him together, and you absolutely have like two peas in a pod where you went. He walks with you, so I do feel like you feel him too when you're walking with the shadow. He's right beside you when you're walking. He puts his hand right on top of your shoulder, uh, and then you feel this emotion. This is when you started your development. It would have brought you to tears, and those cobwebs that would come up. And your grandmother says she does the same thing to you. And as I said that, it was 8:11, which is my numbers. There's with your dad too. He doesn't. You as a little girl, he wouldn't mind getting down on his hands and knees and playing with you. He was also a kid himself when he was younger, but when he had to go to work, he went to work. So this is a man every day that would put his boots on, and he did have a pair of black leather boots. So do you remember those boots that we zip up like on the sides? So there is actually, sorry, there's another man that wants to step in as your grandfather that would love to work outside in his garden with those boots that were
Whew.
constantly on. Would you understand this?
I don't remember the boots, to be honest.
And then there
I
would just
just
have a
don't
grandfather
remember.
that worked outside a
I
lot.
understand
He
the grandfather
loved to
work.
be
Yeah.
outside. And
Yeah.
but going back to your father, and this relationship where as a as a little girl, you were always mystical. You were always into this. You were always loved to wear the chains, the beads that were here, and used to make beads too. Put them together one on one. Do you remember those Chinese shoes that we had as children? You had a pair too at one time. Do you remember those? Right?
Yes.
And there's just a way where with those beads, I want to also give you, I feel like someone would have given you a chain that has like a cross on it that comes almost where we put a cross at the end of it. Would you understand this?
Yes.
And would you understand this was your grandmother that gave you this, a woman
Yes.
that was here. And one of the woman that is here is the one that is in the picture that you have in front of you. Um,
You got
that
a lot
woman,
of people here because that one was not the one that gave me the cross, but
it was
okay.
the other grandmother then.
Yeah.
Yeah, on your and with going back to your father and just being here, he had sinuses, he had allergies as he could start to get older. So this type of season would really affect him. The pollen, the grass weed, and there is like an allergy.
Mhm.
And he's got more whiter skin, so he's more of not pale, but he's much more sensitive to the sun.
Mhm.
Your dad, and he takes me to also rosacea, someone that gets it within on their cheeks, just to be cognizant of that.
Oh,
Your dad
okay.
also, when he's here, he loved you as a little girl, and even as a baby, he didn't mind even being the man to do the back things, what the feminine, what the woman would do. He wanted to be a part of your life. You remember all those books that your dad had?
Mhm.
Those books and books, and that they'd be in your house, and you too loved books going back to fairy tales, and he would lay them and he'd encourage you to read, he'd encourage you to write, and as a little girl you became a very advanced reader very quickly. um,
Oh,
would you
yes.
understand this? And
Yes.
it's almost like 3 or 4 years old is when it
Yeah.
fully, you were already, you could skip a grade in school if you needed to. Grade 3 and 4, you were bored in class. And so she's always been like that. She's always been ambitious and smart. And you loved also the rings, Carol, that those little moon rings growing up that would change
Yeah.
shapes, and shades. So you always had this mysticism inside you when you were born. And your dad, as he put his coat on, there's a certain coat that he had that looks to me like a raincoat he'd wear. Would you understand the raincoat that he wear?
Yes.
And he'd put his hat on, and then he had his tie on. Your mom would kiss him before he left the house, and off they went. And he says she became a certain stage in her life where she was like a freedom girl, where she'd have feathers in her hair and she'd clip. Remember those a long time ago? Those
Mhm.
feathers that we put down, and used to also love the dream catchers. They would be like within your home. So you had your whole house decorated with, sure, your room with color, with beads, but also as your grandmother steps in, she hugs you very, very, very much. She wants to also take a step forward. That way, when you write, you look up at her and you talk to her for some infusion, for some guidance. And she says, go within your heart, go within the consciousness that is inside you to trust your intuition for your next steps. You love also bus rides, Carol, going away with a group, and just going down again to spiritual places. And she's with you then as she watches. This
Oh,
certain grandmother, I'm going to make sure you didn't say this, but I feel this one was a widow for a long time.
yeah. Mhm.
And I think you said that just to make sure if you did not, but I may have heard that for transparency. But also, your grandfather, sorry, your father, uh, that's here, as he takes me as a little girl, he would have do it all over again, cherishing you, burping you, changing your diaper. Like for him, that wasn't a woman's job. Like he wanted to be there. He wanted to be a part of your life. And you'd go to, I feel, your dad first more than your mom. You wanted to get his guidance. You knew that
Yeah.
he was your rock. And you'd wake him up in the morning. You were like an early bird too. And
Mhm.
he would just get up and you'd wait for him. And he'd have his slippers like right there waiting. And he'd put him on in his robe. And you'd just be waiting patiently and patiently. And as you walk together, he puts his arm around your shoulder and he show him, look what I wrote today. Look at what I made today. Look at what I'm going to talk to you about my day. look at everything. And he wanted to know. As tired as he was, he would make that time because you were his little girl, the most precious diamond in the entire world. When he steps forward, your dad. I also feel your dad loved to dance.
Mhm.
And there is also horses. So they would have taken you to a horse ranch, or there was a queen nearby, and you loved horses. You were connected to horses too. This relationship is gold. It's a diamond in the rough, and it's a relationship with a father and a daughter. The way it's supposed to be in life, the way the father steps forward, the calmness, the steadiness, the responsibility of being a dad and taking pride. And being a father was number one, much more than his family, your dad. He worked really, really, really hard. He doesn't take me into his job, but he says there was a restaurant for transparency. I know this, but I feel like the cash register was a relic, and it was saved afterwards in the family. Those old school cash
Mhm.
registers, and your dad was good with money. I always open up his wallet, and there's always something money that he wants to give you. It's always there. I leave
Mhm.
you with this beautiful father coming in priority for you. Majority of the reading with love and yourself just being an absolute freedom fighter, like an Aquarius, wanting to go to the next level, always looking above the sky and saving the world. That is justice. Thank you, Carol.
Oh, oh, Effie. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I deserve all these wonderful readings today, but I'm going to be, as we call it, a reading hog and say thank you so much. That was absolutely beautiful. And so what was interesting about this is that for the benefit of our YouTube audience, she actually brought in three people together. Okay. One was the grandmother that sure had. Okay. So I think what happened was is the grandma pulled in the full family. Okay. And she pulled in
Mhm.
her husband and her son, who was my father. Okay. And who was named James, by the way. So bravo on the name. Okay. Um, but everything, going back to the childhood and talking about, how supportive he was of me. Oh, 100%. We just thought alike. We just were like
Yes.
two peas in a pod.
Yeah.
We
Yeah. It was.
just absolutely, we're the same people, you know, and thanks to actually both my parents, but yes, I was like a very, very advanced reader. They started me reading when I was 3, and I just took to it like a duck in the water, and by that, I'll tell you a tale out of school, 8th grade. I was reading on the level of a college sophomore. That's where I was tested. Okay. And I got sent to the principal's office because I wrote an essay in English class, and my English teacher did not believe I wrote it. She thought my mother wrote it for me. And so she sent me to the principal's office, and my mother was furious, just absolutely furious, because literally I was smart enough to write that essay, it was funny. And the horse thing was a joke. That was an inside joke. Okay. Because when I was little, I always told him I wanted a horse. Okay. But rather than he saying no, he would say, "Where are we going to put a horse?" Okay. And I would tell him very seriously, "Well, Dad, you can move your car out of the garage and we'll put the horse in the garage."
Of course.
So the horse is a joke, but oh my gosh, that was just absolutely fabulous, you know. So, let's expand on this topic of just all these readings for the heart. Okay. Um, but Effie, I want to ask you specifically, okay, so you knew you had 3 different people there, and you were doing this magnificent juggling act when you were reading like that. Okay. How do you keep all those people separate? How do you know which one is saying which thing?
Experience and practicing and trusting and surrendering and allowing them to come in and all of it in one. Plus, your grandmother was the cheerleader. She was the The one I felt that she came in and I felt her holding me and helping me with the reading, your grandmother. That is how strong she was.
Mhm.
And
Right.
it's, I believe you believe that because that's, you feel her, that's how she was in life. So it's almost like she was orchestrating the entire reading on your behalf and allowing me, helping me at the same time bring them in. But I could sense their energies too, the differences and the subtleties of their difference of the energies. So I knew it was that. And I did struggle. I really did struggle at the beginning.
Never
I
would
was
have
not,
guessed.
I
Mm.
was not, I was not sure, but I had to, and that's when I was talked a little bit, but with sure in the reading, I was controlling the reading. And here I am giving my own piece of advice and I'm not even taking it.
Ah, okay.
So I went, what am I doing? And I'm controlling the reading. I'm not confident right now, believe it or not. Yes.
Mhm.
And
That's why we
I'm
practice.
and yeah, practicing and then allowing and just surrendering. And then I held your grandmother come and she just held and she really was the orchestrator for this reading where she stood beside me, she stood beside you. And as you know, we blended with your grandmother, she held the power. I also held the power with her, but allowing the difference between the two grandfather and father to come in and knowing the differences between them. I did feel grandfather was a much stronger person physically in life, where he
Mm.
loved to be outside and that was his domain, and as he wanted to be outside. And if you winters would be tough for this man, he would get bored. He had to be outside. So, and your father was much more refined soul, where he could go with anything. You know, so and just feeling people in life, when you feel someone that's like a mechanic, you feel them, you feel how hard they work. You want to put your sleeves up sometimes. You want to wear that collar. You feel dirty inside, but a good sweat, like I'm doing what I want to. That was your grandfather that was coming in. And those boots, that's all they spoke to me was I knew 1001 grandfather is here and this is him. Father was much, much more that relationship between the daughter and the father was that love. It was between the day that you were born, it was you and him together in this life. It was meant to be. It was this precious love that every daughter needs to have this relationship with her father. And you struck gold, both of you together, the pot at the end of the rainbow. That was the differences with the two energies. And it was so clear when it was changing and tossing between the two.
Wow. Okay. What a great way of describing that. I love it. And I meant to tell you, by the way, when you said, I feel your grandmother. Okay. I could feel her. And for the benefit of my YouTube audience, okay, they will play with my hair, like right there. Okay. And you can feel it feels like there's a bug in your hair, okay, because your hair is very sensitive. But then you put your hand up there and there's nothing there. And I've learned, okay, over the years to ignore those things because I just know it's them playing with my hair up there, you know. But
Right.
yeah, but that was another great piece of evidence. Thank you. All right, sure.
What
I'm going to
I
kick it
do
over.
I
Sorry.
do want to know about the chain that was given to you that had a cross at the end with a pink color stones,
No stone, okay, but she did give me a gold cross on a chain. Yeah,
like a
yeah.
rosary.
No, no,
So it's a chain. Okay.
just a plain cross. Yeah, just plain
Okay.
cross. Yeah.
Thank
So,
you.
but she took me to a jewelry store. Actually, took all the girls in the family on their birthday. Okay, and had them pick out the one they wanted, and so I got the one that I wanted. So, yeah,
Beautiful. Thank you, Carol.
yeah. Thank you, Effie. All right, so sure, I'm going to kick
Actually,
that question out to you, okay? In dealing with like the family reunion in mediumship readings, how do you juggle multiple energies like that when, you've got, people storming the gates who want to talk to your sitter?
yeah. So before that, Effie, just wonderful, wonderful
Mhm.
reading. The packed information. This 11 minutes were packed back to back. It's like highway traffic, you know,
Well,
bumper
that's
to
enough, and I love
bumper.
that you're mentioning. Sorry to interrupt you, short. They know that we have 15. If we're in a platform and we're doing a damn, we cannot give a 15-minute reading to if there's 20 people because they're going to be bored. So we
Yeah.
have to get right to the point of what they want to say to us.
Mhm.
So they knew I had limited time, and that is what I was sharing at the. You're hoping that the medium is going to be able to say what they want to say within those 6 minutes. What do we? How much time is sure do we have in a platform?
Yeah, 6, 7 minutes. Yeah,
Yeah.
And then
7.
we move on. Yeah. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you. Sure. Keep going.
Oh no, no, no. This is it's always wonderful to hear you.
Mhm. Mhm.
The details that you bring in back to back is just amazing. It just shows the trust that you have built with the spirit and the spirit with you. You know, this chemistry and the ethereal chemistry is just perfect. Yeah, yeah. In terms of multiple spirits coming in, it's a challenging. A lot of times it's challenging and. Yeah, I remember early in the spiritual development, I used to just park spirits on the two sides of the laptop in a way, and
Explain that. What
go
do you mean?
go to them, go to the specific spirit to get the information. But over the years, things have just melded, and you just know who is talking, who is giving you that information. You don't have to put them wide apart. It's just like in real life, you know, you have 3, 4 people in front of you. Uh, you it's just like that, you know. Easy communication uh, with time, with trust. Yeah.
Mhm.
You could close your eyes, you could listen to their sound and tell who is talking, right? In real life. So it's kind of melding that way spiritually when you have multiple spirits that you're reading. But it's quite challenging in the beginning.
Mhm.
You give the
Can be. It
information
can be
and
nerve-wracking too. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
because you sitter would start saying, no, it's not that spirit who said that or gave that information. So it kind of puts you in a in your own mind space sometimes, and that becomes very challenging. You're no longer fully blended with the spirits uh, when you hear no. But the thing is, the information that came through was still perfect. It resonated with the sitter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's interesting because answering my own question, that's something that I still struggle with. Okay. And I do not always notice that I have switched spirits. Okay. And that's something that I need to work on. But I actually got a great piece of advice from a medium named Celeste Elliott. Okay, who was taught by a renowned British medium named Mavis Patilla. And I brought this question up to Celeste, and Celeste said that Mavis Patilla told her when that happens, often spirits will switch clairs. Okay. And for the benefit of our YouTube audience, we're talking about your senses. Okay. Clairaudience is hearing, clairsentience, okay, feeling, things like this. And so if you're hearing somebody, that's one spirit, and then all of a sudden you feel something. That could be a different spirit. So when you're doing a reading, you need to pay attention to how you're getting the information, which I personally am very bad at. Okay. And I need to work on that. But that's will sometimes help, separate those people for you when you pay attention to, what clair they're coming in on,
So
yeah.
Carol, how what helped me, it's a great piece of advice I'll take away today also from with my development. What helped me with working with multiple communicators, practicing at the beginning was sensing the difference between two very different people in life. So I would put the intention to ask for someone that had a really strong personality versus someone that had a much more softer personality or quiet personality or shy personality. And I just started to differentiate the energies, the differences between the wide apart. And as I put the intention, they're going to work with you too. Also, that's what they would do. And so that's how and it started. But as you start to develop and start to get more and more communicators coming in, it became more subtle,
Hmm. Hmm.
and I wasn't even seeing them no more.
Yeah.
I wasn't even, because the more refined you get, the more subtle it gets, the less power you use. So you're able to hold your power and gather more spirits to come in and hold your power also for the audience, because you could also have an audience that's low in their own power. So that was one way too. I started to work with multiple communicators, but I liked what you said today, and I'm going to take that away and try that. Uh, and see how it works. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, and on the topic of multiple communicators, I've had a couple of people here, you know, banging at my door, and
Go ahead. Yes.
so I think
Yes.
this
Go.
is the theme for the day is multiple communicators. So let me see who we've got here. Okay, no, I'm feeling a lot of love for sure suddenly. So I think these might be your rowdies, sure, coming in here. Um, and full and fair disclosure to our YouTube audience, I've worked with Shore before, but you have a brother in spirit, Shore?
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right. Okay, I think this may be your brother who's coming in here first, and and he's actually out of everybody else, there's like he's coming to the forefront, he's serious, and everybody in the back is like, like they're the party people, and he's more serious compared to the rest of the crowd. So would you understand him being
Yes,
more on the
yes.
serious side? Okay, all right. And then when I lean into him, I want to talk about his intelligence. He's off the charts smart. When you understand him being super super smart?
Yes.
Okay. Uh, and not only is he smart, but he also has like a thirst for knowledge that, like, um, and it sounds like a stupid thing to say, but there are some people who waste their intelligence, and he does not. He continues to learn every hour of the day. He's learning something. Would that make sense to you?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Did he play chess?
He did.
He played chess player. All righty. Okay. But, okay, did he play three-dimensional chess?
Not that, no.
Not that? Okay. He's showing me a three-tier chessboard. I want to see what this means. So he's laughing at you, okay, and he's saying not up for it. Okay. So it's kind of like a a, a taunt from the other side. Saying that you're not up for a three-level chess game. A dare, if you want. Okay, it's a dare. Okay. Uh, okay. This is random. Was he interested in what I'm seeing is rocketry. Okay, like rockets going up into outer space. Would that make any sense to you, or should I?
Not that I know of.
All right, I'm going to look into that, see what he wants to say about it. Uh, okay, so with respects to the rockets, Okay, this is actually something that he wants to communicate to you, and he's telling you to turn your um your gaze, okay, outward to the universe and shoot for the stars is what I'm hearing. Okay, shoot for the stars. Uh, he's telling you that there's more coming, more coming. And I don't know what that means. Will you tell me what that means? Okay, so with respects to the more coming, all right, these are you have challenges going on right now, like challenge is a wrong word. How about a quest? Okay, are you on a quest of some
I
kind?
am. Yep.
You are. Okay. So he's talking to you about your quest, okay? And he's saying that there's more coming, okay? But you need to turn your gaze. He says you're going inward. He says you need to look outward, okay, to facilitate the quest. Okay. But now I can't ignore, I think this is mom. Okay, and you have mom in spirit too?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So mom is here too. And and she's very I first of all, she's an absolute cheerleader for you. Okay, 100%, um, you know, behind everything that you do. But I want to say that she is just a sweet lady, um, kind of very laid back in her temperament. She's um, let's see, but she's confident in her role. Okay. 100% confident in who she is. Do you understand that about
Yes. Yeah.
her? Okay. All right. And she's a nurturer. And I want to go back to this support that she provided to not only you, but to all of her children. Okay. Um, I feel like she had a weakness for sweets. Okay. All right.
Waldo.
Okay, all right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a little bit of a confession there. Okay. And this is not only sweets, but also like they look like gooey sweets. Okay, like more like stuff that is made with like honey and um stuff like this, just like instead of like a piece of hard candy, it looks like gooier. Uh okay. And I also she was a woman of faith. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Woman of faith. Okay. There were some things that she just did not like to take risks with. Um, and she would defer to the men, okay, to take certain kind of risks. Would you understand that about her?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. But then going back to like her domain, if she felt it was her domain, she didn't want the men anywhere near it. So there's definitely, like a separation of male and female duties here. All right. And let's see. And she just adores you. Sure. Absolutely. She is so proud of you, so pleased with you. Let's see. Let's see who else we can find here. Okay. And then okay, is her mother in spirit as well?
Yes.
Okay, so her mom's in spirit. Okay, I think this is her mom because she's pulling an older woman in here. And size wise, um, grandma's shorter than mom, correct? not, I can see a difference in their height.
Good to know.
Okay. All right. Okay. And grandma doesn't, this is actually a great example. Thank you, Spirit, for letting us this. Grandma doesn't talk anywhere near as much as Mom does. And she is quiet, but the quiet does not indicate a lack of love. It's just that she shows her love through actions rather than words. Do you understand that? Okay. All right. And she, and this is kind of like a balancing act, because like I don't want to make it sound like your mom is not a gentle person, because she is, but grandma is very gentle, very, very, very non-confrontational. I also want to say that grandma seems to have like the soul of an artist. Uh, was she a musician, grandma?
And just continue, please.
Okay, all right. Okay. I don't even know what they are, but I'll tell you what it looks like. Okay, so she's there's an instrument that has kind of like a flat part like this, and she's taking her fingers like this and working on the strings like this with her fingers rather than a pick. So if you could imagine like a harp, that was laid on its side, that's the way that it's being played. So I think this is an ethnic instrument. I don't know what it is.
I understand.
You do? Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. So she's showing me playing that. Um, and what she's saying is that she found peace in this music. Just playing this would allow her to go to a meditative state where she could connect with God. Okay. And that was her way of the physical act of playing the music enhanced the mental act of connecting with God. Uh, she's talking about being lost in her thoughts. Okay. She lost, grandma lost children prematurely. Would you understand that? Would you know?
I don't know.
Don't. Okay. She's telling you that she would think of the children that she lost, is what she's saying. Okay. When she would play like this, and she would play them lullabies. That's what she's telling you. And she's so gentle. It's funny, for the benefit of my YouTube audience, Carol usually bounces off the walls, and when I blend with her energy, she is calming me down significantly and making me much quieter than I normally am. But what she wants, okay, is she wants peace for you, okay, and she says she is going to, you know, pray for peace for you, okay. Uh, but she also has a little bit of a sense of humor, because she winks, and she said, he doesn't think I can make that happen. A little bit of a wink there. Okay. Like ye of little faith. Okay. Grandma is going to bring you peace. Okay. And I have extended my time, so I'm going to leave it there. And thank you for letting me serve spirit.
That's wonderful. That is wonderful. Yeah. So yeah, I couldn't validate some information about my maternal grandma because I've been asking them to provide information. So I'm
Well,
going to start
awesome.
building
Awesome.
the story about her. And I'll see if anybody remembers this information as well from my family. But this is wonderful. This is wonderful.
Okay.
The message also is good. I do need peace, yes.
Okay. All right.
And you brought my brother first. Yeah, you were spot on in terms of knowledge, learning. He was ahead of his time. And with
Yeah.
no computer knowledge, he
Really.
learned the language, computer language, all by himself from
Wow.
books. And yeah, he landed a good job based on that too. And yeah, we used to play chess together.
Oh,
So
oh,
that's
that's the
very
taunt with the 3-level chessboard.
yeah. He's probably playing ethereal.
Oh, that's funny.
That's 3, 4, 5 dimensional. Uh, okay, let's see what I wrote here. Yeah, so yeah, the quest. Yeah, I'll have to look more outward for that.
Mhm.
It kind of makes sense. Yeah, I have a certain desire in terms of spiritual development, and I'm just hoping I'm going to land there.
Mhm.
And yeah, looking outside is it's a good advice. So thank you, thank you.
Ah, that was funny. Oh, thank you, sure. So isn't that interesting that we bring up these questions, about whatever, topic, and then spirit goes and sends me, you know, a reading that is, just based on, what we were talking about. Or did I actually set that intention? How do we think we worked? I don't know.
Yeah, they read my mind. They
Oh, okay.
knew
Did
what I
you
was
want you
looking
wanted to
for.
hear from them? Okay. All right. But see, this is interesting too, because like I've done the same thing with my, my one grand set of grandparents that I didn't really know all that well. And, I set the intention to ask, come in and tell me about yourself so I can learn more about you, you know. And the only way that that is going to be validated if different mediums keep on, giving me the same information. And then I'm going to know, for sure that it's right. But boy, I love learning about them from the other side, you know.
I don't
Absolutely.
have any memory of my maternal grandma. So
Yeah.
there's a void that we need to fill in terms of information. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
glad
Perfect.
information is trickling in now.
Perfect. Perfect. That's wonderful. All right. Well, does anybody have any final thoughts before we close down for the day? Not
Yeah,
really.
they're all good readings. Good
Oh,
readings. Yeah.
thought they were spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. So, all right. Well, we'll say thank you to our YouTube audience for joining us today. Okay. And if you enjoy what you saw today, hit like and subscribe on our channel. You'll be notified of our upcoming live streams. We're here live every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm going to go ahead and close this down with a prayer. If everyone would join me, please. Holy Father, Mother God, thank you for allowing us to come together today in service of spirit. Thank you for this gift of mediumship that you've given us, and allow us to use this precious gift to help others who need your healing and love. Bless our friends and loved ones and protect them from sickness and harm. Bring joy to the lives of people who have sorrow, health to the lives of people who have illness, and abundance to the lives of people who have little. Thank you for the lessons that you have given us today, and help us to continue to build a relationship with you that is based on love and trust. And always, please help us to be the lights that change this world for the better. Amen.
Amen.
All righty. Thank you, guys. Okay. Thanks to our
you.
YouTube audience for joining us this morning, and we hope to see you next week. Bye-bye.
Okay,
Thanks,
bye.
everyone. Bye, Carol.